Hello, and thanks for joining the session. This afternoon, we're working on rewriting that podcast website. And we started out with an admin using Easy Admin. So far, we've gone away from that, mostly because handling uploads were a little weird. Actually, mostly uploads were okay. It was other sorts of processing those media that were up, or those pieces of content that were uploaded that was difficult. So the first thing we did was added our own custom media storage functionality, and then started rolling our own admin panel to actually bypass the restrictions that we had from Easy Admin. We recently added a Symfony Messenger component to start doing some queued work with the processing of the content that's being uploaded. So far, we have some buses registered. We created a command. In the last episode, we actually created a command handler. We're going to take a look at that real quick just so we can see. So what this handler does is looks for the process pristine media command, and then it does a bunch of stuff with the with some content. So it downloads the pristine media from the episode that the command is related to. It does some stuff with ID3, and then it writes the new file into, let's see right here, write from file. So this is where this actually gets written to, and then we set this as media. So the episode has two pieces of media. It has pristine media, which is the file that's actually created when it's the file that's created when it's uploaded raw from our editor. So right now we're using Adobe Audition for that. We just press an MP3 and then we upload it. What I'd like to do is have this piece of code write all of the ID3 tags so that the file actually looks exciting and interesting once it's downloaded by people. So for example, we set things like title using the metadata from the episode itself. So this was a lot of manual work before, and it was also something that sometimes got complicated if a episode got pushed out of order, for example. We might not actually remember to go in and change the ID3 tag and then re-upload it to our storage provider. It was just kind of a pain. So this is going to allow us to sort of not have to do any of that. So we do have a message handler already there. We started to do some of the interesting things with ID3. So far, we've got the basics going on. We have title, we have artist, we have album. Here's where we get the tag writer. We give it our tag data, and then we write tags. So this was one of the things that was a little more complicated, and I think we need to do something more useful here, is we need to find a way to actually log this information or raise it to a level that we can actually do something with it. So the other thing that we did was we had to come up with a way to test this. I got to close a couple of windows. So let's go code, podcast. We had two windows that we had, our two tabs going on here. That podcast. We wanted to have one that was actually doing the message consuming. So we were doing that with bin console messenger consume messages, and then we were doing limit 1 so that it would only listen to one message. And then on the other hand, we have bin console, and I double check what the name of the command was. So we have app media process, and then we pass it the ID of the episode, I believe. So if we look at this episode, it's ID 14, I think. So we're going to drop into the admin real quick. Episodes. Yes. Oh, actually, it's 13. So we're going to process 13. And what that does is drops a command on the queue, which gets processed over here. So everything pops out normally because it's actually working as expected. What we're going to do now is try to look at the actual file. So let's see if we can add. So add to library. Where is this? Simensen. So it's actually putting it in uploads. And I think this was 183, but I want to double check. don't even know how I'd see that. Maybe from here. So let's see if we can find the GUID. No, okay, so I guess we actually have to go all the way to the RSS feed. So let's look here. The next one again. And this is, yeah, 183A. So this is the directory that is being uploaded to. So let's go into 183A. And then we're looking at the media because this is what actually gets uploaded. And then we're going to open this file. And where'd it go? This is the fun part with iTunes. You'd think recently added would be where I would look for this file I recently added. But it doesn't look like that's the case. So let's see if I can, oh, get added as a podcast. No, interesting. All right, so let's see if we can figure out where this went. No, we don't want to browse. This one. Weird. I don't know why it didn't show up where it was supposed to, but one of the things I think is that this is showing up in music, which is not what we actually want. So this is one of the tags that we need to figure out how to edit. So if we look at the song info here, here we go. So this is the piece that we're looking for. So the things that I want to be able to do to make this look right is right into the options, media kind. I want this to become podcast. Right now it's not. And then I think it's using the same tags here. It's just presenting them differently because it's a different media kind. So knowing this is called media kind might help me better figure out exactly where I need to go to edit this. Artwork is where we have, well, we don't have anything here now, but we want to get our big cover photo added. If we look at one of these other episodes, we can see that we have year set correctly. Artwork, we have album artwork. So I want to be able to automatically add this into the MP3s. Lyrics, options. So I think so description. So lyrics changes to description when it is a podcast type. So this is where I would want to put some raw HTML, which would essentially be the iTunes summary. So whatever the iTunes summary value is here, I want that to be written into the description. So this is kind of the short-term goal for this session. So let's see what we can do with this. So I think the first thing I want to do is see if we can change the media kind. And if we can go back to, let's see, where were we? Wasn't Slugify. I want to look for the ID3. So it was this original package. And one of the other issues with this package is it has a lot of different options for licensing. So we'll have to figure out at one point which one of these licenses we actually want to adopt. There was something called structure. So let's see if we can do kind. Let's see if that's in here. What kind of data? No, that apparently isn't going to be there. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is add some tags. So I'm going to use this code here to add tags to the media file we've written directly. Let's go to here, options, let's make it podcast. Let's add a description. This is the description. And let's see what else we have. So details, genre, podcast. Okay, let's set that as well. Play count, release date. So this is something that we can maybe try to do. This is where it might be kind of weird, because I know that when we had this sort of information set before, it was kind of, when we were doing in the ID3 reading part, things were a little bit weird. All right, so I think that resulted in our actual file changing. So let's just do some local work here. Uploads podcast, episodes 183, media, oh, there we go. So we'll copy that to here, let's do test.mp3. And then actually we require once. Get out of VI here just because it might be prettier to watch it a different way. Let's do PHP. This is just a file that I usually do if I'm just doing some procedural test code. Let's do, okay, cool. So if I'm going to go back into our media handler here, and one of the things we did originally was get the information from an MP3. So we're going to do that here now. Let's see, get ID3. I think we had to actually read the file though. Let me double check. There were some demos. Copy text to comments. All right, so we just have to specify the file name. We don't actually have to get like a stream or anything like that. So what we can do then is print r, analyze, and then we'll do test.mp3. Let's see what happens. Okay, cool. So now we can get all of the information available that we need. So we can hopefully figure out where we need to put the information. So let's do is a description. Is that what it was called? Oh. See, now it's switched to being a podcast. All right, so actually let's search for that first. So let's go podcast. Genre, okay, so content type. So I wonder if that's something that I'm not going to be able to control. Be kind of a bummer if that was the case. All right, so first of all, let's go ahead and set genre. So let's go back into Process Pristine Media Handler and do genre. Let's see, it was just podcast. All right. Here's a description. So that's a subtitle. We actually have a subtitle, so that's a little bizarre. This is inside comments. Let's do iTunes, MP3, HTML. Guides. Okay, that's not being useful then. So let's do a search on here for simple write, demo write. All right. I think this is what we were looking at on the last session. This is how we're going to have to handle the files. All right, I don't think that's going to be useful. Let's see if we can look for there's actually ID3. Oh. Information on the format itself. All right, so I'm going to stop looking at this for now. I want to see if iTunes description HTML. See if I want to make sure that there's a way to actually do this. Use iTunes Producer. Here we go. You can use limited HTML if you code it right. All text to plain text, description riddled with stray code. I wonder if this is just in the iTunes episode summary. Short answer, you can click on those links. So yeah, I'm not talking about the iTunes summary in the RSS feed. I'm trying to see about the actual MP3 specs, text encoding, C data. May not be something that I can actually do something with, so I might just have to be done with that. So podcast overview, feed and image requirements. Okay. So we know that right now this is description is being in subtitle. So we'll try that. And that is supposed to be the strip tags. So get iTunes summary. Let's just set it and see what happens. It's possible it's just going to render raw HTML, but I'm fine with that for now. At least we'll know that it's getting in there correctly. And then we can see if there's a better way to handle that. There was something about frames. Implementations. PHP. Reading, writing. It's possible we could learn something else from reading other implementations because they might be more straightforward. Demo 3v2. Oh, okay, so people can just upload stuff. Interesting. Embed HTML in MP3. Other way around. Embed HTML MP3 description. There we go. HTML works across browsers. This is just wrong. I feel like this was like super important stuff at one point in time to know how to do ID3s, and now everybody just doesn't need to deal with it. So I might be getting too deep in here. Genre subtitle. Let's look for, what date did we give this file? Here we go. This is the description, and the release date didn't stick. Why did it not stick? We just have to not worry about that for now. This is the description. Oof. This is where I think that if I did a frame, I might be able to set this as a different type. Data offset, subtitle, description, refinement, frame name. Docs for page 3. Refer directly to content's title. Okay. Can you specify a type? Where was I at? Getting lost here. Frames. All right, so subtitle, description, refinement. Used for information related to the contents of the title. All right. Text encoding. Let's see if HTML is listed anywhere on here. Should be used for test. No. All right. All right, so let's look at the package here and see what it has to say about doing frames. Let's see if it has. No. MP3 header. Here we go. Translation. Okay. Shouldn't happen. Wow. Okay, well, that's really confusing. Audio info. Frame? No. What was in this right? I think that had something with the frames. Oh, maybe it's not simple right, maybe it was full right. No. Okay. I guess that's not actually in here. Let's see if there's extensions, cache. What are we looking for here? Short frame lookup. Oh boy. All right. This is getting really deep in there, more so than I thought it would. iTunes Summary HTML, tag writer. Let's see if there's something else in tag writer specifically about doing something with frames. Right. Tag writer. What is tag writer? ID3 tag. ID3 write tags rather. Tags. Oh. Interesting. Let's see here. Text. Yeah, so what is this? So this is not a comment. Awesome. Frame names lookup long. So frame name is one of these. So embedded lookup, frame name, line, file. Wow. Frame name lookup, frame name short lookup. iTunes broken frame name. So this is one of those applications that are libraries that it's really fun to look at because, yeah, it's just pretty amazing what it's actually doing here. It's just having to support different types of MP3 encoders. It's doing all sorts of stuff that I really don't want to have anything at all to do with. But it also means that I don't really know how to run it. iTunes broken frame name fixed. Actually, I don't know. There we go. Okay, so here's parsing the frame. Does it get ID3? Set iTunes description. For iTunes, get ID3. So it just doesn't, it's not incredibly transparent as to what I would do to set one of these other weird values. I don't know if these are, I don't know if I can just call them different tags. Like if I say this value, like where can I pass this? 83 v4 subframe. So if I have any type tag writer, format data, override. It doesn't do much at all. Override tags, tag encoding, remove other tags. Actually, I'm going to set subtitle, and let's see if it actually populates those by hand. Because I guess it's entirely possible that that's actually the case right now. So let's go ahead and process the same media and consume the message, copy the file locally, and run this and see if we can say this. Oh, actually, no, what is the description? Subtitle. Okay, so this is the iTunes summary. So it did actually set a value. And it's setting that. Okay, so it is doing this automatically behind the scenes. So it looks like it is actually setting the title there. Huh, okay. So I guess that's a good thing. Okay, so let's see what it did with podcast, our genre. So on was podcast. Let's see where else podcast exists. Okay, so actually this did set this tcon. What's tcon? Genre. Let's see, podcast. Okay, and let's go ahead and try to open this file now that it's been updated. So I brought it in. Description. Well, let's see if we can reload it. Yeah, I brought it in. The HTML file isn't what I was hoping for, so we might have to do something different there than I was expecting, but think that means we're going in the right direction. It might be that I have to add a new field for the adding the description, non-HTML description that can be embedded in an MP3. Okay. All right, so now the next thing I want to do is copy some of the cover flow stuff. So I'm going to do assets, SVG. So we've got some SVGs in there. Do we have PNGs? Yeah. All right, so let's copy, no, Dropbox. That podcast cover photo. All right, we'll copy that to assets, PNG. Actually, it's a JPG. Figures. Do we have a PNG of that? No, we don't. All right. Well, let's actually put it in here. So move assets. It's probably more appropriate anyway. So what we need to do now is embed that file into the MP3. How are we going to do that? We need to pull up their example code. And let's see here. So demos, write, and then we have this stuff here. So we need the APIC data, temp name. What? Oh. All right, so we actually need to get the actual file contents. So where do we use that though? Yeah, okay, so we just need the raw binary data. All right, so let's see here. I think what I need is to get the kernel directory. So I need to be able to get access to the assets. How was I doing that before? Let's look in services. Wasn't doing anything before. Okay. Here we go. We were doing this with SVG extensions, so for base path. So what I'm going to do is pass in the same thing here. So that's the projector. Inside process media handler, I'm going to add an additional argument. So we're going to do private base, or no, we'll do projector. And what we need this for is being able to specify where on disk the project is checked out so that I can get access to the asset. And what we need here, param string, project dir, and then project dir. So this is going to fail outright if I try to issue a new command because it doesn't know how to auto-wire the plain string project dir. So what we need to do now is add an override in services.yaml specifically for this this handler. So we'll go to pristine media handler, copy reference, paste it, remove the leading backslash, and all we have to do is add this. Hey, stream working. Thanks for joining chat. Things are going great. I think things are going great. We're getting pretty close to at least the end of this particular part of the project, being able to automatically process raw MP3s, add the right metadata into them, and include images. So I'm pretty excited about that. So if I send the message now, hopefully it works. Let's see if it does. All right, cool. So at least we can do that. Now what we can do is work on the handler and then consume it. So we're not going to get ID3 here. We don't need that anymore. What we need to do is download, well, no, first of all, we'll just get the cover photo. So cover photo data, we'll do file, get contents, this project dir, and then we have what, assets, images, that podcast, cover photo.jpg. I'm just going to double check to make sure that's the correct path. Save us a round trip on this. All right, so that exists. Awesome. So we get the cover photo data. We need to call EXIF image types on the file name. So let's actually do cover photo file name so we can reuse this little bit of data. All right, cover photo file name. All right, and then cover photo, was it EXIF? Yeah, EXIF image type. All right, so I've never used this particular function, so yeah, hopefully this is something that's installed and not something that I have to do differently. So cover photo file, awesome. Let's see, what's this doing? Just EXIF missing. How easy is that going to be to add on Heroku? All right, so it looks like that's easy enough to actually add. Streamworking's asking how long I've been working on this. This particular session's been about 45 minutes. The full project, let's see here. I don't even know because I haven't done adding on it yet. If I look at the rewriting that podcast project, we more or less started from scratch back in September. And let's see here, we're on episode 28. So, well, actually we're on episode 27. So probably at least 27 hours worth of time spent on this. All of these sessions from rewriting that podcast are hour-long sessions. And then all of the sessions for bootstrapping Astrocasts are 2-hour sessions. So I'm doing these twice a week, and that podcast I'm doing 4 times a week, at least for the current set of projects. But I'm getting pretty close to being ready to deploy the new version of that podcast website. Astrocasts itself is actually a work in progress and constantly being deployed. So people can actually see it after a session. Well, not always, but usually they're relatively quickly the work is actually going out. The site actually didn't exist at all before these sessions started, so you can watch from very early on in this application's lifecycle to where it is in production now. Looks like Streamworking says mainly stream video editing and motion graphics animation. So this is cool to see. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining. Were you just surfing around on Twitch and the stream just pop up, or how did you find it? I'm gonna double check something here. One of the other things that I'm gonna try and do with the Astrocast session itself is there is, oh, I'm getting stuck here. There are these weird things where well, I've actually locked myself out of chat. There we go. There are these things that will reset, and I have to actually set them so that people can know what this particular stream is about. It's still relatively new to streaming on Twitch and whatnot, but that seems to be kind of annoying. Let's see if it's reset those. No, it didn't. Cool. It's kind of does it sometimes, and sometimes not. I just have no idea when it's actually removed the web development tag. So yeah. Okay, so let's see here. Let's get back on track. I need to make sure that the EXIF extension is installed. I don't know if I actually have that installed, but I can do composer rec EXIF, and this will ensure that I can get this loaded on Heroku. As for me, let's see here. Maybe that means I have it. So PHP-M? Yeah. EXIF. All right, cool. So we actually have the EXIF extension installed, so this shouldn't be a problem. I just noticed recently that PHP Storm has started to give me errors if I'm using things that require an extension that I don't have installed. So that's actually kind of cool that it's able to do that. Let's see here. So we get the EXIF type, and then we need to set the values. So we'll do tag data attached picture. Yeah, definitely share it. Streamworking saying that there's something that they're working on that might be interested in sharing. Let's see, so tag data attached picture. Rather than set these individually, I'm just going to add this here. So we have data is the raw data that we get from cover photo data, from just reading it in directly. And then picture type ID is going to be the cover photo EXIF type. And we need the description is the file name. All right, I guess I'll allow that. Oh. We'll just do, there we go. Actually, we'll do base name or photo file name. So we might actually be able to redo or reuse some of this here for other things. So it sounds like Streamworkin has created a site for creative streamers, so everyone can learn faster from each other by sharing our network and process. Sounds like it could be pretty cool. I know a lot of people ask about like process and things like that. I haven't done a lot of watching of other people's streams, so I'm not sure what other people are actually doing, but it does seem like sometimes we're all reinventing the wheel. Let's see here. So let's do cover photo picture type. EXIF image type. All right, and then this is the MIME key. All right, so this is going to be the easier of the two. The thing that we're doing here is bringing a file that already exists on disk. The background image that I want to be able to add is going to be a little more complicated because we'll have to download it from the Fly System Asset Manager in order to be able to do that. So we'll do that in a minute. Let's see if this works first. So let's do consume. No handler for message. Okay, so cool, yeah, I'll check those out. I'll check those out. If you're in chat, definitely check out the stuff that Streamwork is sharing. No handler for message. That's a lie. Process pristine media handler. My guess is that this object is no longer being constructed automatically for some reason. Process pristine media handler, projector. No handler for message. So I've managed to break this somehow, and I'm not sure how. I wonder if there's a... I'm gonna try and do this again. No, it should be working. So cannot auto-wire service. Projector of construct has no type hint. All right, so we did that, and it's able to work. No handler for message. Why is that? Yeah, if you want to send me some information, Streamwork, and I have I think there's a link on the stream itself to the website, and I think I have my email address there. You can also click on the intercom message to send me messages with anything that you want to share. Let's see here. So why is this not working? I'm going to comment this out and see if it has any change on this. Nope. Let's comment out. Okay, so I can't create it. Let's go ahead and remove. It's not actually doing anything with projector. Project. Just so that it can have a value. Okay, so must be included before calling write tags. What's it saying? Get ID3. So this package is really bizarre. We really need to do ID3 equals new get ID3. We actually need to do this even though we're not doing anything with it to ensure that it's loaded. Yeah, so it's astrocasts.com. So astrocasts.com is the link. We actually have the stream showing up on here too. Okay, so it's consuming the message, so that's good. Let's go ahead and rewire the auto wiring. That's astrocasts.com, not astrocats.com. But I can see how that could have happened. There we go. Okay, so do projector again. So we have projector. And now let's see. Okay, so now we need to wire this up again. My guess is that there's some weird thing here that even though we are setting these message handlers, as soon as I've added an additional sub namespace here, I'm guessing that I have to do some additional work to ensure that the tags are there. I'm not sure that's the case. Yeah, so no handler found. All right, so this is interesting. Do commands and source commands. And I'm guessing this is going to fix it, which is really bizarre. I guess it makes sense. Okay, must end with the slash. Right. Okay. No handler, still no handler. So app messages commands, process media. Messages commands. App message handlers commands. This is bizarre. I guess add this here and see if that does it. All right, well, I'm not very happy about that because I don't understand what's going on here. Essentially, I've set up something that I would have thought more specific implementations would inherit from, but it's not doing that. So what I've done here is specified that these values, anything within these namespaces, should be getting the tag messenger message handler. Because I've defined this specific class to have an argument override, it's not inheriting the tags from this namespace. I'm not sure if that's expected behavior or not. It's definitely not what I expected. So I don't know. That's something I might have to bring up with the Symfony team because this is annoying. All right, so I'm actually going to back out of this change and see if it still works because I didn't think I needed to do that either. All right, so it's going to consume messages and then process a message. All right, so let's copy the file. Where'd it go here? Copy, Dropbox, shared, cover photo. Oh, no, not that one. A little bit further back, I guess. There we go. Copy uploads to test.mp3. And then let's see if we can open up this file again. All right, let's go podcast info, artwork. It doesn't have the artwork. Let's see. Do I have that code back? No, I have it uncommented. All right, so let's do this. Try it one more time. Oh, no. Do this. All right, cool. Now, open it again. Ah, we have the artwork. Awesome. So now I no longer have to go through this whole process of editing this information and adding the artwork correctly. Cool. So I think I'm going to save the background image for tomorrow. Essentially what I want to do is be able to do this. Let's go background image. Here we go. So I want to be able to attach both pieces of artwork to the MP3 just because I can and because I wanted to see if I could actually make it work. So actually, is it working? Might not be. Maybe I can't actually attach multiple, but I want to see what it looks like when I do. So, because it says add artwork. All right, thanks for checking in, stream working. Bye. Ah, no, it does have them both. Ah, awesome. So I can see both here, and I can reorder them. So I'll probably want the. I don't know. I'll have to ask Dave what his opinion is, but I kind of like the idea of having this here. The other really cool possibility here is if I want to do some more intensive image work, I could probably actually embed the cover photo on the background image, and then that would just be awesome. So that you could actually get a better idea of what this is. You'd be able to see the background image that sort of tells you more about the episode. We could even probably try to get the what is it? The title, subtitle, that sort of thing on it. So it would sort of look like what we have for the Twitter player. So if we go to our live site, just so you can have an idea of what that looks like. If we look at, say, this one here, where's the Twitter player? There we go. So it's just a smaller version, so that when you actually run this in a like a mobile, if you run this in like a mobile view, it actually looks pretty interesting. So let's do. There we go. So it kind of looks like a. It just looks a little different. So what I'd like to do is sort of have the same sort of thing that we could actually put. So if we had like a square version of this, we wouldn't have to have the player, but we could actually have the title. We could have our logo maybe a little bigger, and then the background image. So you'd have a pretty good feel for what the episode would be. So I think that would be actually pretty cool to be able to do that. Levels.io, I think is the, what is it? No, it's Nomad. Is that it? Yeah, Nomad list. This is something that Dave mentioned on our podcast a while back. No, actually, remote okay. Yeah, here we go. No, I can't remember which site it was. I thought it was Nomad list for different cities. Oh, I see what that is. It's not actually a link to Nomad list. There we go. So this is one of the things that David talked about, is that they're actually embedding some of this information onto the images. So if we look at, say, Bangkok, no. Let's see if we can open a link to Bangkok. Yeah, oh no, so here we go. Let's see here. So if we look at the Twitter card, Twitter image source, I think this is actually embedding information on it as well. So they have a background image and adding some stuff. So I think that would actually be pretty cool to be able to add that into our MP3 cover photo. So rather than actually attaching multiple photos, maybe just attaching one that actually gives you a better feel for what the episode's going to be about. So I'm actually pretty excited about that possibility. So anyway, thank you all for joining. Again, tomorrow we're going to be doing another episode of that podcast, rewriting that podcast. Let's see, where are we at for our upcoming sessions. So tomorrow, I think what we'll probably be doing is that image thing. I think that would be pretty cool. So we'll be doing some customization of the cover photo. And then tomorrow night, we're doing a longer session. I'm going to look at adding taxonomies to Astrocasts so that you can get a better idea of what each episode's about. And so that you could click on, say, Tailwind and see all of the episodes where I have a heavy focus on Tailwind. So I'll do that, and then Pusher. Pusher is going to be the thing that will add a little bit to the header anytime the episodes are live. So if I'm actually doing a live session, I want people to be able to see that and then be able to get to it quickly. So for example, this one here, would bring you right here. You'd be able to start watching right away just by clicking on the link, and you'd know that this was actually happening. So thank you for joining, and have a good day.